true form, sustainable health, natural body, age-based nutrition, what actually matters. What you should eat depends a lot on your age, not because food suddenly changes, but because your body's priorities change over time. Growth, maintenance, and aging all require slightly different strategies. In this video, I'll explain how your eating approach should shift by age, and what principles stay the same no matter how old you are. 1. Teenage years to early 20s. Support growth. In your teens and early 20s, your body is still growing and adapting. Muscle mass, bone density, and even your nervous system are still developing. For most people in this age range, a slight calorie surplus is natural and often helpful. Bluntly put, you don't need to micromanage food at this stage. That doesn't mean unlimited junk food. If calorie intake is extremely high and body fat climbs rapidly, that's still a problem. But in general, this is a phase where eating enough to support growth matters more than staying lean. 2. 30s and 40s. Maintain and control. By your 30s and 40s, the goal shifts. Your body no longer needs to grow. It needs to be maintained. At this stage, a slight calorie deficit often works better for long-term health. Maintaining a mild, consistent feeling of hunger can be beneficial and may support cellular repair processes such as autophagy. Many people try to eat the same foods they did in their 20s, just in smaller amounts. If that works without constant hunger, that's fine. But for most people, it doesn't. A simpler approach is to reduce energy-dense foods and increase volume. Cut back on high-fat foods and increase vegetables. Fat contains about 9 calories per gram. Most vegetables contain so few calories that their energy impact is almost negligible. Another useful rule: limit foods where you can't easily imagine the original form of the ingredient. Highly processed foods make calorie control much harder than it needs to be. 3. 50s and beyond. Preserve function and strength. From your 50s onward, priorities shift again. The main goals become preserving muscle, strength, and daily function. Loss of muscle mass and strength accelerates with age if nothing is done. This makes protein intake especially important. At the same time, total calorie needs usually decrease. That means food quality matters more than quantity. Meals should focus on protein, vegetables, and minimally processed foods, while avoiding unnecessary calories from refined sugars and excess fats. Eating to support training, recovery, and joint health becomes more important than eating for performance or aesthetics. 4. Principles that apply at any age. Some rules don't change. Vegetables should be the foundation of your diet. Some studies show that people who eat around 600 to 800 grams of vegetables per day tend to have lower health risks. This is a sufficient target for many people, but benefits can still occur at lower intakes, and there is no evidence that eating more is harmful. Next comes protein. A practical target is about 1.5 grams per kilogram of body weight per day. After that, carbohydrates. Favor whole grains and less refined sources. Limit heavily refined foods like sugar, white flour, and polished white rice. Fat usually doesn't need encouragement. Most people eat enough without trying. As a rough guideline, around 50 grams per day is a reasonable target for many adults. Conclusion: food doesn't need to become complicated as you age. What changes is the context: growth, maintenance, and preservation. If you adjust your eating strategy to match your current phase of life, staying healthy becomes much easier and far more sustainable. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe and start building a healthy, sustainable body with us.